DJ right now.
What?
What
The headphones.
kind of music are you into?
Pop, rap, everything.
He looks like he could be the type of like.
That's what I was just gonna say, like a
The
Tiesto.
EDM? Nah, I can't.
Really?
Nah.
That's good music, man.
Is it?
Yeah, but your generation doesn't know
It's
about
it's
that.
always weird people that are into it, though.
Yeah, people like me.
Yeah.
But he used to be into like the whole Waka Flocka, right?
Oh, damn. I'm losing respect. Really? What are you like into hip hop and stuff too?
Yeah.
Mainstream or like
Hip-hop,
you're going
rap,
deep?
I go everything.
Are you going like easy?
No country.
No country? Why are you hating country?
Can't. It's too slow for me.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's good content though.
Country music.
That's
yeah.
good lyrics. What does rap tell you about? Molly Percocets?
Right
Doing
now.
drugs and like, well, okay.
Right now.
What do you-
Before, no.
what are you talking
Before
about?
you had some real inspirational hip hop. They educated you. You ever listen to Nas?
No, I never really. Like, I used to tell people, but no, I didn't. Like back when I was in the Bronx, I used to try to act
Formative.
hard.
Nas,
yeah,
bro.
Jay-Z, Nas, but I had no idea what they were talking about. I had no,
We had that era, you and I, with like Lil Wayne and
you were really like you were authentic.
deep into it.
Yeah, but I was more like an imposter.
Yeah.
I used to go home and listen to Britney Spears.
Everybody had that moment. Don't get me wrong. I had an NSYNC album. No strings
Listen,
attached.
that's good music. I thought it
Hey,
was.
You know?
I related to those lyrics more. Because I never sold drugs on the block.
It is what it is, bro. Listen, it's not like I sold drugs on the block. But, growing up in the Bronx, it's the atmosphere, wherever you're placed in. This is what part of the jungle you're placed in is what you're going to adapt to, right? Like the Tarzan movie. It's kind of like you put him around apes, the guy's going to start beating his chest. But you were in the Bronx for a little bit too, no?
Yeah.
When he looked at me, it's like, no, that whole ape version, you didn't like that, did you?
Like, what?
It's true, though.
I see what you're saying. But Tarzan is a fictional character. It's not real.
Listen to me. Hey, they teach you lessons. There's a lesson in everything, my friend. It can be a cartoon. It could be a commercial, whatever you like. I'm serious. If you think that, watching a Hollywood flick, you can't learn anything from it, it's not. What is this dude that's laughing at me? Like, it's all good. I'll tell you how it is, man. But yeah, everything has changed, man.
He's going on a rant. What is he talking about?
What's wrong with you guys?
Oh, man.
That was funny. That was good. I needed that.
I need to get that out of my system. No.
Yeah, good.
That needs to get out.
Yeah, welcome to Penny University Podcast.
What is Penny University? In the 18th century, England established popular coffee houses where instead of paying for drinks, all one had to do was pay a penny to enter. Once they've entered, they had access to a great atmosphere, coffee and discussion. For only a penny to pay, virtually everyone could afford to enter. It was a place where people shared their thoughts and ideas. It quickly became a breeding ground for conversation, no matter the social and economic status. Everyone was welcome. I welcome you to Penny University Podcast.
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal.
It is what it is.
No, but what were you talking about? Rap. So you related to that music.
I related to that music.
Like what about it? Like, I like the way it sounded, right? Don't get me wrong. But I think I related more to like I Want It That Way by Backstreet Boys.
I
Want it that, because I wanted certain things a certain way,
Honest to God, nobody knew what that song was about. Seriously. But I want it. All right, you want it that way.
Yeah, or songs
Yeah.
like that. 'Cause maybe I was an emotional teenager, You know, I felt like I was in the wrong place, like it being in the Bronx, because I'm not that gangster. You know, I was just telling Mo too. I would wear the Timbs, the baggy jeans, the jerseys, the chains, the shape ups, but it just never felt like it adapted. You know. Did you ever go through that phase? Or
No,
no, you looked real.
I felt right at home.
Okay.
It was interesting, man. Now that I look back, you know.
But then again, you came here when you were very young, right?
Sure, it was a year and a half.
I was 6 months, but I went back to Pakistan when I was 3 or 2, and then I came back here when I was 7. And you know what they say?
What's that?
Basically, a person is fully formed up until 7, right? So the majority of my formation as a human being was happening in Pakistan,
Interesting.
you know? So by the time I came here, everything was like new to me. I've never seen so many ethnicities. I thought everybody was Pakistani. You know, I thought we were just humans, and that's how humans look. And then I saw black people, white people, Asian people,
That's funny.
you know, and I was like, I was always thinking, am I normal or are they normal? You know, like I remember the first time I saw this kid in elementary school out in Maryland, and he had freckles all over his body, and I never saw that before. And I used to look at him and I used to think, is he diseased? And we went to the urinal together. Not like not like we planned it out.
Yeah.
You know, we went to the urinal, and I remember we were standing there, and I was curious, and I took a peep over, like, is he freckled everywhere? You know,
really?
and he
You were that-
was.
You were that curious.
I was very curious. He was, but then I looked at myself and like, I'm not like that. Who's normal here? You know, it was an experience for me.
Yeah, because you were surrounded by your natives. That's all you knew.
Right.
So that's why it's encouraged for us to travel. Right? It's encouraged for us to travel. Why? Because traveling does the... Seriously. Traveling does something to you. It does something to your soul, your spirit. It's like a reset button. You did any major traveling outside, Mo? Or no?
No, only in the States.
Where'd you go?
California, Washington, Georgia.
Okay.
How's Georgia?
Georgia? Different world?
Does it have that like Southern hospitality to it?
Yeah, it does, for sure.
So how would you describe it differently, like as compared to up here in New York?
Super slow down.
Okay.
Everybody's just quiet. It's
Really?
very quiet down there. Yeah. But
So-
then it's not as diverse. So everybody thinks the
So
same
what's
way.
the demographics?
Just all white. You have white?
Georgia?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Atlanta, Georgia?
No, not Atlanta.
No,
Out in
Atlanta's
the
one of
suburbs.
Okay.
That's where I was. Yeah.
So people are just more slower paced.
Slower pace. And then when you have the same people, it's just the same way of thinking. Same type of people.
What do you mean by that?
So everybody thought the same way.
Like political views?
Political views. Yeah.
Are they all Trump supporters down there?
Yeah. for
Mostly?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you realize you go over there, like the people that you encounter, like, you know how you said everybody thinks the same? They're even interested in the same things. Like they'll wear a lot of camouflage.
Yeah.
You know, they like hunting. You know, they do the
It's
same
just real country.
activities. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
real country
You
people.
are your environment, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You are your environment. That's why you have to be careful what environment you're going to be caught up in. Right or wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Because it could change you as a human being without you even knowing. You know, remember that one example you gave me about like turning up the heat?
Right. Influence.
What was that?
So it was saying how,
I don't know if you heard this.
yeah, the way that people are influenced. So it was talking about organic feelings, right? And so you might think a feeling that you're feeling is organic, but it could be influenced from an external source,
Right.
right? So, for example, if I were to turn down the heat in this room, and I made it cold, but you didn't know, you'll start to feel cold, and you're like, I want to put on a sweater. And you would think that idea was yours organically, but I controlled that idea for you. I influenced it by turning down the temperature. And
Without
so-
you knowing.
That's sort of what's going on right now with the whole social media, right?
Yeah.
Like basically people are being influenced in their thoughts,
Oof, great example.
right? Isn't that what people were saying? Like that's what Mark Zuckerberg went on that apology tour. Isn't that what he was the culprit for? Influencing people's thoughts. Didn't they say Donald Trump did that with Cambridge Analytics?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Wasn't that like a Netflix series?
I'm not sure. I didn't watch it. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did.
What did it say?
Basically, it was a documentary about how big social media companies had influence in politics and the way people thought about certain parties, Republican, Democrats. They would even target certain specific people through their news feeds. They found out who you are, what type of person you are, your interest from whatever it is that your info, all the algorithms or whatever. So
Okay.
they would basically, you would see this commercial on your news feed.
That's
Or a
geared towards
video.
you.
Yeah, or a video to kind of manipulate the
Like,
way
so
of
basically
your
they're just
thinking.
planting seeds in your subconscious by showing you certain images
100%.
targeted to you. So just like you said, basically now they would engineer your thought process.
Exactly.
And then when it's time for election, they're going to give a certain speech that you're going to agree with, and then who you're going to vote.
That's how easy human beings are, like this. You know, by a pull of a string, like they say. You know, think about it. If you really think about it, advertising. Like if you're watching like a boxing event, you'll have a company pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to leave their logo on the side of a metal bar by the ring. And you're like, what's that going to do? What's that logo going to do? That logo does a lot, for example, to your subconscious mind, not your conscious mind, right? So they know how much influence they have through images alone. Forget about speech. Language is another one. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've heard many, I think it's either psychologists talk about that majority of your personality is actually subconscious. That the most of the processing that happens is while you're sleeping and in your subconscious. And going back on the topic of what you were talking about, these companies and why they put their certain logos, because it works, right? I mean, think about it. Companies, major companies, spend millions of dollars to have like a 30-second snippet during the Super Bowl games, right?
Right.
Why is that? Millions of dollars just for a 30-second clip because millions of people are watching at the same time. And that 30-second clip is just going to plant a seed in their subconscious that later on when they go out, now they want to get that Rolex. You know, they want to buy the Tide or whatever the case may be.
Right. 100%.
So, 'cause obviously it works. Now,
It's a study.
what about movies? You don't think if a 30-second clip could do something to us?
Jeez.
What about 2 hours of James Bond shooting up people out in the Middle East or in Russia? You don't think that engineers your thought process for how these people are?
Are you kidding me? If you really think about it, right? You take somebody from the ancient times, right? Like 100 years ago. Let's not even go that far back. And you'd place him in a dark room and a huge screen of just imagery, right? Moving motions, right? Even us today, we're used to all these, going to the movie theater, cinemas. You ever sat in a cinema for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then once it's done, you leave that arena and you're like, what happened? Like something happened to your spiritual. You feel a certain way. Everybody's kind of quiet when they exit too.
It's almost like you experienced an alternative reality that you were a part of, or you know what I mean? Like you always relate to the protagonist of the movie, and you always put yourself in that shoes. Like Jason Bourne, for instance. Remember that movie, Jason Bourne?
Right, yeah.
The Bourne Identity and all those. You always feel like you're Bourne No,
Yeah.
like
You put
watch
yourself in their shoes.
in their shoes, and whatever he's going through, you're going through, and you come back out, you feel like I'm one of those soldiers, and I went through all that, and I can do all of this.
100%.
Yeah, they definitely play something on your subconscious.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's how they recruit a lot of soldiers.
I mean, listen, I mean, when you go in there and you
They glorify it.
Oh, yeah.
They glorify war, and then you think, oh, this is what I want to do. I would love to do that, and boom, they got you.
100%. 100%. Just like they do with rap music, for example. You know, the truth comes out eventually. You find out that a lot of these rappers, they have in the videos like the Lamborghinis, the watch, the diamond watch, or they can't even afford that. This is all props. You understand what I'm saying? They're drawing an image in the generation's mind. Like, yeah, this is the way you ought to live.
This is what you need. This is what you want. This is what's valuable.
Yeah.
Forget about morals and ethics and decency. What you want is material stuff. What you want is bitches and hoes. Right?
Yeah, it's the language. It all goes back to language, man. Yeah, and it's a tough time too, because I feel like at least, right? Like 90s music. If you just play 90s music,
90s rap.
90s rap or 90s music in comparison
So
to
what's the
today's
90s?
music.
What's the 90s rap? Like who would it be? Like NWA?
90s?
Yeah. Jay-Z? No, it's not Jay-Z.
Yeah, you could say Jay-Z. DMX, yeah.
Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Exactly.
Dr. Dre. Eminem. Is
Eminem.
he
Considered.
Eminem is dark, man. No,
Yeah.
Eminem can get dark. He's like he likes to be that clown and be funny, but like he could get real dark. Like remember that song Stan?
Yeah.
About that dude killing his girlfriend who was pregnant and then killing himself because he was a stalker of some dude. It's like, whoa, what is that?
Exactly.
But we all liked it. I love that
Yeah,
song.
yeah, of course. Of course. I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. And in the video, my man was digging a grave to put his mother in it.
He went through some dark stuff, man.
Yeah.
He's been through some dark. Didn't his mother like abuse him?
Yeah.
She used to like put Clorox in his cereal or some shit.
I don't know about that.
It's
Is
bad
it?
like that.
Yeah.
He sued his mom for some shit, and she tried to like sue him for defamation, and she lost.
I know he lived like a horrible childhood, but
He's from Detroit, right? 8
yeah.
Mile.
Yeah.
Or-
Interesting character though, man.
Have you visited?
I feel like he's smart though. Like behind he plays a part. You know what I mean? But I think that his genius is what caused his depression after the fame. You know? God bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So it's like, for example,
What part do you think he's playing? What do you mean by that?
You know, the part where, I got to be where I wanted to be. I got the fame, I got the money and everything. But after it's said and done, it's like, you're really not meant for all that. I feel like.
Fame, you mean?
I feel like, yeah. The human being is not meant to have that much fame. It's not normal.
you think
understand?
that's what drove him crazy?
It just not just him alone, man.
No, but like his childhood, his mother used to.
Well, that's
abuse him.
one thing. That's one thing, right? But it didn't drive him crazy to the point where he couldn't handle it. Obviously, the man was, he was accomplished, right? He made it to where he had to make it in order to be famous. It's not like he had like his screws loose totally. You know, he's up there. You know, he knew who to vibe with, who to connect with, or whatever it is, and you could tell a lot by a person when you listen to their lyrics. He's a true lyricist. You know, what do you want to call that? Modern day poetry. I would 100%. If you're able to articulate like yourself in that kind of manner, putting words together, that's an art.
And every other syllable rhymes.
Every other syllable rhymes, and this is stuff that they teach you in college. A, B, whatever. You know, but this came naturally to the man. I don't think that his childhood, having a tough childhood like that, I don't think it breaks you. It makes you. I sincerely think that it makes you, you know?
Being abused as a child?
Not abused, but having a rough childhood. I mean, obviously, it's going to have psychological damage, right? If you're being horribly abused as a child, right? But it's gonna build you.
Like build some character?
Absolutely, whether you like it or not, man. It's gonna build you. It's gonna leave you with a lot of, you know how they say, experience is better than knowledge. You know, I think that's what life is about, right?
I never heard that one.
Yeah.
Experience is better than knowledge.
Yeah, sometimes experience is better than knowledge. If you own a business, right, let's say, and you want to hire somebody for your business, somebody's going to say, well, you know, look, I know the ins and outs because I read 101 Inventions, for example. Another person tells you, hey, look at my resume, you know, I've been doing this for 25 years. He shows you a catalog with all his work. Who you gonna hire?
Hands down, yeah.
Yeah.
Hands-on experience.
That's it. Experience over knowledge.
Yeah, book knowledge is one thing, and then there's the real world.
Exactly.
Textbook is one thing, and then there's the actual world. Things don't really play out how the actual world plays out. You know?
That's a good one.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, man, it builds character. Being in tough situations. How do you know how are you going to act in a tough situation if you were never placed in a tough situation? You know what I'm saying? Everything is new to you. That's, you know, I don't think, do you think anybody lives like that?
Like what?
Without experiencing any damage, like any, you know, hardship in their life?
We're all damaged.
Yeah.
We're all damaged.
Some way.
In some way. Especially living in this capitalistic society. We're all damaged some way, somehow.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
A lot of people might say, yeah, I like it this way, though. You know, capitalism. It's good. It's nice. Gives you some nice features. And then you have some people who might say, nah, man, this is not the way I want to live. You know? What's that quote in Fight Club? He said, you know, we work jobs we hate so we can buy things we don't need. You know?
That was eye-opening for me. I love that movie, Fight Club.
Jeez, bro.
I gotta watch that again.
Oh.
Fight Club had a lot of great quotes. How about that one when he's in the bus and he looks at that, I think it was an Armani male model, but a six-pack and is like, Brad Pitt. He goes, is this what a man's supposed to look like?
Yeah. Completely hairless. You know? He's like, is this what a man is supposed to look like? So it's imagery, right? It all goes back to imagery. How they want to build it. Like they build the world that you should see yourself in.
So a part of me says, okay, yeah, there's some, you know, sinister work going on back here. A part of me says that, okay, maybe that is what a man's supposed to look like. You know, that just shows you an optimal specimen of a human being. And we're all trying to obtain excellence, at least, right?
Excellence or perfection?
Yeah, well, you can never reach perfection, but
Everybody seems like they're trying to reach for perfection. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah.
That's how you feel conscious about yourself, you know? If I have a little belly, why is this here? You know? If I grow some facial hair, maybe I should buzz it down. You know?
Facial hair?
Yeah.
What's wrong with facial hair?
I mean, I'm just saying, look at me. I have nothing wrong with I have nothing against facial hair.
Mo, you should...
He's getting there.
It's getting there. I remember I got a full beard, I think, when I was like your age, too. You're 23, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got like a full beard at that time, too.
Yeah, he's getting there.
Late bloomer.
Late bloomer.
Yeah.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I kind of wish I had your hair, like your face like that. You know, just clean.
Clean.
Yeah, it's a good
How does
feeling.
it look when you shave it off, though?
Oh no, I look like one of those Sphinx cats.
Oh,
You ever seen those cats? It's like something's wrong with this cat. I think it's supposed to have hair. That's how I feel usually.
that's a good example.
No,
That's a good example.
like this is one girl actually told me one time. You always keep a beard on your face. Is it to show your jawline a little bit more sharper? It's kind of like makeup for guys. And I'm thinking inside my head, does makeup grow on your face? This grows on my face, naturally.
Naturally. Interesting.
I feel like this is how I was meant to look.
Ah.
And now society is telling me that I have to cut it off in order to be civilized or to seem a little bit more well put together. I didn't think that was the case. No?
That's the professional look now.
That's the quote unquote professional look. Like that's how we're supposed to look for this capitalistic costume that I'm supposed to wear. And this is too wild for it. And I was like, what?
Damn.
And now I feel like I'm kind of going against my own self. I'm betraying myself to fit into this quote unquote civilized society. No?
Yeah. But if something is natural, then why go against it, right? Why would you try to stop something that is natural?
I remember when I was 16-year-old, and when you're 16, you're getting like a first job or something. Working at Abercrombie and Fitch was like the best thing. And I went out and applied for it. And at that time, I think I had like hair like you, but I let it grow out. I thought it looked good. At that time, it wasn't like beards weren't in. I think who brought beards in? Justin Timberlake. You guys remember that era when Justin Timberlake came out with a beard and he started wearing that Arab scarf? This is probably like after 2001, right after 9/11 happened, and Muslims are like on the map, all over the news and whatnot. So it's like the new culprit,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
After the invasion of Iraq.
Right. And what's his face? Justin Timberlake started wearing the beard, and then he had that the Arab scarf on, and then it was like a cool thing to do. But
They call it the hatta,
the hatta,
the black and white.
right? You remember that?
Yeah.
And I remember I went to Abercrombie and Fitch, for my interview, and I had hair on my face, like a little stubble, like a 5 o'clock shadow, I guess, a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
And the first thing that they told me was like, you're gonna have to shave your beard, and I was like, what?
Interesting.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess I don't really want to work here anymore. I just don't fit in. I'm going against myself to fit into this corporate environment.
But what do they have against the facial hair?
I think they have a certain look that they're trying to go for, which is that clean cut,
Hair, completely hairless man. Like if
yeah.
you look at Abercrombie and Fitch, right? Models or Hollister or whatever. I mean, even majority of the models. You ever seen a model with hair on his chest?
Some, yeah, like European mostly. I think in an American side though, the West here, it's not really too desired, or at least not in this day and age. It might have been like in the 70s, but now I think
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's moving
it's changing.
away from
Yeah, it's changing now. Now I think becoming a little in that age at least,
Feminized?
Yeah, feminizing men a little bit, right?
a little bit.
Right, a lot.
Yeah.
Until now, I think it's going back now. The beards are coming back in.
Yeah. a
You
little
know?
bit, Yeah.
If you notice, like the diets, the carnivore diets, paleo diets, we're all trying to go back to the basics. It's like, whoa, I think we messed up here a little bit. Right or wrong?
Yeah,
Like people are starting to realize, like, yo, we messed up. Something's wrong here.
I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, you gotta admit, we lost the train of thought because you were gonna go.
Yeah, bro.
Before you were gonna go, you're gonna go
That
deep.
thing ruined, but it's a learning lesson.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
It's a learning lesson.
right.
Bro.
Next. Right. Next.
But to be
topic.
honest, it was getting good.
It was
Like,
so
I was
good, bro.
With the thing, and then I was watching it, and it was getting good. Like I was into it.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Next.
No, we'll take it back. We
Yeah.
have to because of the editing.
It'll come. It'll come.
When would it come, Gotham? When would it come?
You gotta fish for these thoughts, man.
Yeah. So go ahead.
You want me to start going deep?
No.
Want me to start pulling things out?
No, I mean, Listen, this is,
Either, because I
this
don't
is
do
what
it.
we're doing. The whole point of this is getting everything situated the way we want it.
Yeah.
Forget about what you want to serve to the people.
So how was your day?
It was good, man.
What'd you do?
Today was the first day I went and dined in a restaurant.
Inside?
Inside the restaurant. So we went to Outback's, and I had one of the best experiences when it came to the waitress, because I haven't been served like that in years, and even my wife was like, she's amazing. I'm telling you, when she noticed that you're not even done with your Sprite, she's, oh, there you go. You know, sauce, there you go. She gave us bread 3 times. You know when you did that one bread they give you?
The pumpernickel.
Yeah.
I love that bread.
And it's like, you know, it's not enough because, you know, she gave us bread 3 times to the point, right, Mo? To the point where I asked for the manager. I swear to God. I was like, can I speak to your manager? I don't know if she knew why, because I was just like, she probably seen my face. I was amazed. She was like, sure, you know. So the manager comes over, and I was like, I just want to say, she, you know, this waitress is, honestly, I haven't seen this kind of service in such a long time. He goes, oh, Holly, she's been here 25 years. He goes, let me tell you something. She's the best. He goes, you see this place? Yeah, they built it around her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Her service was absolutely amazing, man. Like, you didn't have to ask for anything. You felt like you were being served. And that's the whole point. When you go to a restaurant, right, they charge you a service fee. That's the service fee that you put, you know, take out from your pocket to feel like you're dining out. She made you feel complete. And I stopped her and I said, listen, I want to thank you. And I just want to tell you something that I seen in a movie once. And I was on the airplane, and I never forgot this scene in the movie where there's this guy trying to teach his nephew how to be a waiter. So he teaches him how to serve the food and how to present it properly. And then he goes, okay, now you have to bow. So when he served the food, the kid bows, and he goes, no. You bowed the wrong way. You never bowed too low. He goes, you're a server, not a servant. You see, God serves man every day, but he's not a servant to man. And I told her that, and she was just like, thank you.
Wow. You probably made her day.
She made mine.
Made her life.
She made mine.
You know, that's true. Whenever you go to a restaurant, it's always like the service really matters big time. You know?
You guys feel like you have to tip, though, even if it's bad service? Because I do.
In the West, it's like a guilt thing because they're
Right.
apparently not getting paid enough, and you know you're being served, so it's like you're obliged to pay a little bit more. It's not like that in the East, though. And you know, there's a difference in their service here too. I feel like they just keep coming up and checking up on. She wasn't like that, was she? Like, you know, what, just keep kind of like sometimes they kind of start bothering you. It's like, I'm trying to enjoy my food. Can you please leave?
That's what made her so great. It's because she did none of that. But instead of asking me if I needed anything, she realized everything that I needed and just did it.
But don't you? That's why 25 years of experience, right?
Right.
Don't you hate those other waitress or waiters or waitresses who, like, as you're eating, they're like, "Is everything okay?" Yeah,
Everything's fine.
everything's fine. If
Yeah,
it
they
wasn't,
come
I would
in.
have like raised my hand and let you know.
Yeah.
You know, or they'll just do it so many times where after a while, I just stop answering them. I just look at them like,
Yeah.
you know, like, shoo.
Yeah.
Let me enjoy the food.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like that in the East, though. Like in Europe, I noticed like it wasn't like that in Spain for me. It wasn't like that in France at all. They bring you out your food, and then they'll leave you alone, no matter how long you want to stay there. It would never happen like that in the West.
Did they
here.
ask you if you need anything?
Nope. And
If
I
you-
loved it.
Wow.
Because if you need something, you call them over, and then they'll come. Otherwise, they'll let you be for as long as you'd like.
I heard there's no tipping, though.
You're not obliged to do so. because they're making good enough money, and some people actually even find it offensive that
Big time.
that you don't think I make good enough money. That you're just leaving money here, or like they won't like run after the money, Like if you leave it, okay, cool, thanks. If not, it's all right.
Yeah, it's a different world. When I went to Portugal, and I was new to this whole Europe thing, and I would go and they were like, I swear to God, they were looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what are you doing, giving me extra money? And I'm like, what? You guys don't tip here? And they're like, no. I swear to God, they kind of like felt like it was a form of me kind of saying, I feel bad for you, so take this extra money.
Oh my God.
It felt weird.
Petty money.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then I looked into it, and then I came to realize that the whole tipping thing actually came about by rich people would leave extra money to have their status known. And
Where'd you hear this?
this is something I looked up. You could look it up.
Like, where did tipping start from?
Tipping started from that. Well, where it really originated was during slavery. Because they didn't work for free. They worked for free. So people would, leave tips. That's where it started from. Think about that. But it was also another way for the rich people to show their status.
Like the aristocrats.
Yeah.
Who pays more? For what?
Exactly.
If you were a millionaire, would you tip a lot? Are you a big tipper?
I love tipping, man.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I love tipping.
Why is that?
Even though I think that, it came from the wrong place, basically, the history of it. But I think that, you could just kind of say, here, I appreciate everything that you've done.
And it sometimes probably just makes their day, and probably makes you feel so good too and fulfilled that it made their day.
Yeah. That nature, that, the natural
giving back.
instinct. Yeah, exactly. So, for example, like that's a good point you brought up. Like it makes your day. It's because, what's that quote? It says, the giver and the one who is receiving share both the same thing in common. So the one asking is asking out of need, but the giver is also giving out of need.
Need of what?
You need that.
To feel good?
Exactly. Like you said, don't you feel good when you give back?
I like to tip big too. Not too big.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, depending on how big the bill is. But I like to go to like 20 to 30%. I think standard is what, 15, they say? Right? Standard tip, like 10 to 15%. I like to go like sometimes, depending on the service, obviously.
Right.
If I like the person or not. If it's the kind of person who keeps on coming and nagging you, basically telling you to get the hell out of here or let the other customers come in.
Yeah. But that's
understandable too. I get it, but like,
You know what's funny? It's the whole giving back. Isn't there a guy who got famous for like just
there's a lot of them
giving people random stuff, buying them houses and giving money away? And yeah, who's that?
Mr. Beast.
Who?
Mr. Beast.
Mr.
On
Beast.
YouTube, yeah.
So what's his
I've never
deal?
heard of this guy.
So his whole channel is based on him giving away money. So for example, he had a car giveaway. And so he did the thing where it was like 50 people touching a car. The last one gets to keep it. And so that's what he does. He just gives away money.
How does he make his money?
He gets sponsored. Yeah.
But he wasn't already rich?
But he had money when he started.
But he became famous for that. So basically, I think at one time he went to some type of restaurant, and he said, "Hey, would you be willing to help me to furnish my store? I'll give you $1,000." Right?
Pizza restaurant.
Yeah. So he takes him. They take him to this furniture store, and he's like, "All right, help me pick out a living room. Okay, now help me pick out a bedroom." So he picks out all the furniture, and then they get to this house that they want to furnish, and he goes, "Here's the keys to your brand new house." You just furnished your house.
Wow.
Yeah, right? Something like that. So the whole point is the guy got famous for giving back. Now, what made him famous is because we're intrigued by that. We like that. We like seeing that. What's that other one? That other show, Undercover Boss,
Right.
right? You ever seen
No, I
Undercover
never heard of
Boss?
this one either.
Okay, so the CEOs of major companies like KFC or
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, I didn't know that's what it was called. Okay, go ahead.
so they go undercover and they make believe that they're a part of this reality TV show where they want to start a new job and you got to train them and the employees are not in on it. And then they want to see if you're a good employee or bad employee. Do you have something bad to say about it, about the company or whatever? So if the boss senses that you're a good human being, actually trying to make the business thrive, right, and you're putting in the work, they later take you and say, "Hey, I wasn't really so and so. I'm actually the CEO of Dunkin' Donuts." So, oh my God, whatever. And then he's like, "I want to give you $20,000 because you told me that you're working this job and you're trying to help your mom and you guys are kind of, just barely making it." And, it gets emotional. Like, are you kidding me? Like, there's moments watching that TV show I wanted to cry, bro.
Wow.
Because it's just like when you see humanity in action, it does something to you, right? And I think that's why the energy of today's world is being bombarded with this fake energy that they're putting out, right? It's constantly bad, 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 bad. This is happening now. This guy got hurt, protests got, ran over. This person thinks that these people are awful and they're fighting each other. And we're just like, what's going on?
Especially with like this new Citizen app. Yeah. Have you downloaded that app?
No,
Where it's just telling you what's going on around you.
I don't know how you have that.
I'm constantly being bombarded with notifications of, gun violence here.
Explain to Mo what that is.
So it's this app called Citizen, where basically citizens of the neighborhood will upload if something's going on around nearby, like if there's somebody who has a knife or a gun or if there's a fire, whatever the case may be. And everyone, whoever has that app in the nearby radius gets a notification, like say, but now I'm getting bombarded with notifications like, because my store is in Washington Heights, uptown New York. And, it's not that great of a neighborhood.
Notifications are probably nonstop.
Oh my God, off the charts, man. Gun here, 181st fist fight here. I got this one weird notification. I don't know if I told you. Man molesting a cat. I was like, what the heck is going on in 2020? He took a picture of it and
sent it to us.
I sent it to him. I was like, dude, it just makes you feel like this is negative doom and gloom all over. I don't know if this is like because of the pandemic or this is post-pandemic or pre-pandemic. Was this going on all the time? Or is it because of the neighborhood that I'm in? No idea, but it just really makes you feel like there's so much negativity.
That's why I don't watch the news in general.
That's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Is watch it. No, seriously. It's like trying to take, 20 pills of Motrin all at once. You think then it's going to heal your pain by knowing what's happening in the world, right? But it's actually doing damage to you. I feel like we're in a time where we're being fed too much information.
Yeah, it's a system overload.